Is disclosure coming? From Politico. Senators want the public to see the government's UFO reports. The issue has lacked attention from senior leaders, the Senate Intelligence Committee says. All right, this is going to be a fun one. Now, before we get going, I want to remind everybody to subscribe to the channel, like this video, give it a share. That's the best thing you can do to help grow this channel is just if you like the content, go ahead and share it, spread it, get the information out there. I try to talk about a lot of things that the mainstream media is not talking about, or I like to criticize a lot of the dishonest ways the mainstream media frames certain news articles. So yeah, go ahead, like, share, comment, subscribe. If you would like to support this channel financially, there are a couple links down in the description below to my PayPal, Patreon, and Subscribestar accounts. Anything you donate will go directly to this channel, and anything you contribute is greatly appreciated. I am but a humble person trying to make his way on YouTube, so we'll see how this all goes. But anyways, this is going to be a really fun thing to talk about. Now, I was really into space as a little kid. I actually went to space camp when I was 11 years old. But in my adult life, I've never really been one of these like big UFO people or these UFO conspiracy theorists or anything like that. I always just lived under the assumption that we have no idea what's out there and we'll probably never find out in our lifetime. So I just never really gave it all that much thought, which might have been a mistake on my part, actually. It seems like it almost seems impossible that we would be the only people in the universe. I mean, you just think of the infinite expanse of the universe, that this planet is the only one that has habitable circumstances. Now, it could be that, of course, you have other factors in there, like maybe civilizations existed billions of years ago on planets billions of light years away. How would we know? But anyways, there's got to be other things out there, and we've been seeing. One thing we've been seeing recently, we've been seeing a lot of reports. They've kind of been slowly hinting that they're leading towards disclosure. But before I get going too far, we got to read this. We got to read this article. So let me not get carried away with myself here. All right. So the Senate Intelligence Committee has voted to require U.S. intelligence agencies and the Defense Department to compile a detailed public analysis of all data collected on unidentified aerial phenomenon, including intrusions recorded by Navy pilots in recent years. And that was one of the things that back in like 2004, I think it was off near San Diego. Maybe I could be wrong geographically speaking there, but they were doing some flights, and they saw these. They called them like tic tac shaped things that would. I think there were like 6 of them that were flying around them, and the Navy pilots had no idea what they were, and we all kind of knew about this, but the Navy was mum. They were mum. Mum was the word on it. And just recently they came out and said, no, we don't know what that is. That is not our technology. And that's one of the things you have to think about with all of these aerial phenomenons and things like that. You never really quite know what is really just like testing military technology and things like that. But they were saying, no, this is not ours. This is an unidentified flying object. So they've slowly been starting to ease us into the idea. And what's so funny is that all of this stuff has been coming out, and it's like nobody cares. Nobody cares. The media is hardly reporting on it. Nobody's really paying much attention to it. But in 6 months here, I mean, they're making this report public. That means we're all going to know. So the whole Area 51, maybe they're going to tell us everything that's in Area 51. How crazy is that? I mean, at this point, like I said, I've never been like a UFO conspiracy theorist or really even all that interested outside of just, fun to wonder about sometimes. But right now you kind of have to think, maybe all these UFO people that we thought were nuts, or maybe they were onto something. Maybe they knew what they were talking about. And how cool would it be if we're just a short time away from full disclosure and potentially entering into a legitimate space age? How cool would that be? I mean, you have to wonder if these, a lot of these alien theories, they go back to, say, the 1940s or 1950s when we first started having contact with alien vessels. The Roswell crashes, all that. Like I said, I'm not very well versed on all this stuff because I've never really followed it all that much. But imagine if for 70, 80 years, we've had access to this alien technology, and we've spent the last 70 to 80 years learning about it, mastering it, figuring out how to work on the different, the different energy levels or the different, entirely different technological platforms that they may work on. I mean, it's amazing how quickly we could potentially enter a space age if that's true, if that's what's going on. Now, that may not be what's going on. I have no clue. I don't have access to anything, and I can only give so much weight to the stories that I hear coming out there. We all really need it to be verified by official sources, which, I guess part of the human condition is we need that. We need that validation. But how cool would that be? And what interesting timing, too. Because we're seeing all of these political uprising, this social unrest, and I think a lot of that comes from the idea that we don't have anything left to conquer. We have no frontiers left on Earth. I mean, outside of going down deep into the ocean, nobody really wants to do that. We can't survive down there. I guess we can't really survive in space either, but at least there are more possibilities of what we could find. Whether we find habitable planets. I mean, it's mind-boggling. So maybe this is the perfect time to have disclosure. We've settled all the frontiers. We've done all we can do terrestrially. Now we could potentially have all this technology that could take us out into space and populating different planets and doing all kinds of different amazing things. I've always said that if I was alive in the post-Civil War, I would have been one of the people that went out west and just went for the adventure. I mean, but we can't go out west anymore. There is no west to go to, except out to space. So, I don't know. Could be cool. Of course, I'm just getting my hopes up. I'm just speculating. I don't really have any idea what this is going to lead to, but it is fun to talk about. It is fun to think about. So let's go ahead and continue with this article. The provision contained in the Annual Intelligence Authorization Bill, which still needs to be adopted by the full Senate, sets up an unusually public debate on Capitol Hill about how extensively the government has been tracking high-performance aircraft of unknown origin, or UFOs. And that's what's also so interesting about this, is they're pushing to make this public. Come on, disclosure! All right. The committee remains certain that there is no unified, comprehensive process within the federal government for collecting and analyzing intelligence or unidentified aerial phenomenon, despite the potential threat. See, I don't like to lean into. We shouldn't lean too heavily onto the potential threat, because we have no. I mean, if there are aliens, of course we want to be well guarded and make sure that if they are of nefarious intent. But at that point, are we really going to be able to defend ourselves against them if they're able to fly here from other galaxies? We might be at a technological disadvantage. But I would not maybe take the threatening tone straight off the bat. Somebody's going to have the balls to step up and extend a hand and see whether they kill us or shake it, cut it off or shake it. I don't know. Maybe I'll be that Huckleberry. Let's see. The committee understands that the relevant intelligence may be sensitive. Nevertheless, the committee finds that the information sharing and coordination across the intelligence community has been inconsistent, and the issue has lacked attention from senior leaders, it adds. The unclassified analysis, which can include a classified annex, is to be completed by the Director of National Intelligence and the Secretary of Defense within 180 days of passage. That's 6 months. 6 months. We could... By 2021, or by 2022, we could be on a faraway planet, galaxies away, saying, how the hell did we get here? That'd be cool. Let's not get any naysayers on this. This is just a fun one. All right. Senators on the panel were first briefed a year ago about reports from naval aviators and other personnel about a series of incidents in recent years involving unidentified aircraft stalking Navy aircraft carriers off the west and east coast, including a trio of videos that were recently made public. That's what I was talking about a few minutes ago. The congressional briefings were sparked by revelations in the late 2017 that the Pentagon had been investigating the sightings and interviewing pilots for a number of years and had recently issued new guidelines to sailors on how to report such incidents. Now, the Senate panel, chaired by Senator Marco Rubio, is directed... Oh, God, man. Do we really want to leave this in the hands of Marco Rubio? Come on, God. Make this one work out. Now, the Senate panel, chaired by Senator Marco Rubio, is directing the executive branch to centralize all relevant information about such intrusions collected from a wide range of sources, including the Office of Naval Intelligence, the FBI, satellites, and other technological means, and human spies. Now, I've got some... I've heard from some naval intelligence people, either directly or indirectly, and they all believe in this stuff, or at least the ones that... Different military intelligence. I guess they're not all naval, but different military intelligence people that I've either tangentially had contact with or just word of mouth through an intermediary. They all say that, oh yeah, we believe in the alien stuff. So, who knows? Who knows? Could be cool. It also wants a recounting of how agencies share such information and who is responsible for the task, whether the aircraft in question could indicate a major technological breakthrough by a foreign adversary, and recommendations regarding increased collection of data, enhanced research and development, and additional funding and other sources. Rubio's office declined a request for comment. Come on, Rubio! You gotta give us something. You can't say we're gonna 180 days, but we're not gonna tell you anything now. Come on, give us a little bit. Give us a little something to work with here. All right. The move is seen as a major victory for advocates of more government research into UFOs and greater public transparency. The public transparency really, we should have public transparency on these kinds of things. I mean, think of the benefits to humanity that could come through releasing certain technologies that could be far beyond anything that we have here on Earth. I mean, what are these people just hoarding it for themselves? No. You got to give it to the people. Got to give it to the people. All right. It further legitimizes the issue, said Christopher Mellon, a former top Pentagon intelligence officer and Senate staffer who is pressed for more research on the topic. That in itself is extremely important. People can talk about it without fear or embarrassment. And I guess that's one of the things is, people have always been afraid or embarrassed to talk about their belief in UFOs because they sound, we've always called them whack jobs and, kooks and things like that. Maybe they were onto something. Maybe we were the whack jobs. Maybe the majority was the whack jobs. I would have fallen under that. I would have fallen under that category too. Maybe I've been the whack job for not believing in this stuff. Who knows? I just can't wait to find out. At this point, I'm just speculating. So, to be clear, it remains unclear how the legislation will be received by the full Senate, which is yet to take up the intelligence bill, or where the House will come down on the issue. There could also be resistance within the Trump administration, particularly regarding the requirement that the information be made public. Why does that even have to be included, Politico? Why do you have to? Why do you have to say? Why do you even have to bring Trump into this and make it sound like he would be the one wanting to keep it from the public? If anything, Trump might be the reason that it's getting released. In fact, I haven't heard the interview, but apparently Don Jr. does a podcast, and he was interviewing his dad. He was interviewing President Trump on the podcast, and he asked him, "When is disclosure coming?" And Trump was not. He didn't answer the. I mean, he was evasive in his questioning, but he wasn't denying that there is something to reveal. So, if anything, I think Trump would be the reason that it's finally getting revealed. If anything, it would be all the deep state actors before that were keeping it for themselves, and now Trump is like, give it to the people. Give it to the people. So I hate this framing. Like, Trump, why even bring Trump into this? And why do you have to frame it as if, like, he would be the one holding everything back when clearly all of this information has been held back from us for decades, since Trump was damn born? And you're going to try to frame it as if Trump would be the one that wants to keep it from us? I'm pretty sure it's the political establishment that's been entrenched for decades that has been keeping it from us that is the one that would still want to keep it from us. Just logical 1 + 1 = 2 type shit there. All right. But what is clear is that UFOs are now on the agenda. This is so crazy. This is cool. If they don't respond to something like this, what do we have an intelligence community for? He's got a point. Mellon asked. We are talking dozens of incidents in restricted military airspace over the years. Yeah, and that is true. I guess a lot of these things have been commingled. A lot of these sightings have been commingled with military personnel. So that can't be a coincidence. I mean, I guess they would have more access to the airspace to interact with these. But I mean, you would think, what about commercial airliners? People taking a flight from, New York to Los Angeles, and next thing you know, they look out their window and there's a UFO. We don't hear about that, but we do hear about from the military. So it sounds intentional. I mean, on behalf of the aliens, hypothetically speaking, that they would, be able to identify what our military and leadership base is, and whatever the communication means, go through those channels, be able to identify and access those channels. That's kind of cool. But anyways, that's about it for this. I just think it was a cool thing to cover, and I think, like I said, who knows what's going to come from this? Could end up being a big bag of nothing, like things usually tend to be. But it is fun to think about, and something to keep an eye on too. So set your clocks, and hopefully by the end of the year, and then of course Biden's going to beat out Trump in 2020. I'm kidding. I'm at least I hope I'm kidding. But if we do see Biden beat out Trump, of course, then all of this is going to be swept back under the rug, and it's going to be kept from us again. Because if anything, Trump would be the one releasing this. He would be the one behind giving this information and technology to the public. So, anyways, another reason to go out and cast your vote for Trump. So, anyways, guys, I hope you have a good one. Again, like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know what kind of stuff you want me to talk about. I'm trying to get I'm still a new channel, so I'm trying to get a feel for what you guys are interested in. Because I can sit here and just talk about what I like all day long, but I'm kind of a weird dude, so you guys might not like a lot of that stuff. So let me know what you want to hear me talk about, and if it's in my wheelhouse, I don't want to go too far outside my wheelhouse, but if it's in my wheelhouse, I'll talk about it. So anyways, guys, thanks for joining me, and I hope you guys have a good day.